Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is a movie that I was actually looking forward to this year. And I don't mean just to see how disastrous it'd be.
Damn, nigga!
But to actually watch a good movie made by a director renowned for his filmmaking. To that end, I was satisfied. Frankenstein isn't a mind blower, but it's a decent flick. My main issues are the uneven pacing and sort of underdeveloped motivations, making it a solid but unremarkable adaptation compared to cinematic predecessors. The cold open with a really cool scene shows how threatening the creature, to whom I will refer as Adam for simplicity's sake, is. It hints at how broken Victor is, and it underscores the theme of shared humanity. All those sailors immediately bond together to protect one fellow man against a monster. It's a gripping, visceral, atmospheric start for a movie, but it was the wrong way to start this movie. With most of this movie being comprised of slower scenes that have little to no intense action, Adam's attack on the ship would have served much better at a climax. That is, to show the culmination of the animosity that's festered between Adam and Victor after we get all the build-up. What Del Toro did was that he front-loaded the reveal of the extent of Adam's epic power, and then dropped us into these extended flashbacks, which really disrupted the momentum. Before I jump into that, please give me 20 seconds to let you know that Sam Aurelian is a completely independent channel with no generative AI being used to make my videos. I'm also just barely getting off the ground here. If you like this video, if you're seeing it at all because YouTube apparently hates long form, please subscribe and help me make $1 million on Ko-fi. Without further ado, for that reason, the first half of this movie drags hard. The prolonged build-up to Adam's creation takes up roughly an hour and 15 minutes. We're not just seeing Victor try to create Adam. We see his entire backstory, why he's a victim, how he builds up a close relationship with the man funding his operation, so on and on and on, until Adam is finally created. It feels laborious, focusing too much on setup at the expense of deeper character exploration or tension between Victor and Adam. The movie didn't catch up to itself per se until the scene where Adam is created. And it's a great scene, super intense, well acted, and promising. But it doesn't exactly deliver on the excitement it promises as well as I'd hoped. After the creation, there's a jarring transition between Victor moving from an awe-inspired creator to an abusive tormentor. Given the time invested in the prelude, this rapid shift feels rushed and unearned. It just feels way too fast compared to what the runtime was spent on up to this point, which itself was kinda shaky. We get this portrayal of abuse from Victor's father, succeeded by his mother's death under dubious circumstances, as a clumsy attempt to justify his obsession with conquering death through the creation of life. This creates a slight but noticeable dissonance between motive, method, and outcome. I legitimately believe that skipping or streamlining the backstory would have tightened the narrative, allowing for more focus on the core themes without these heavy-handed psychological explanations. It never hurts to understand a character like Victor, but the backstory we got isn't all that compelling, especially when it comes to justifying his obsession with creating Adam. It's an issue that sticks out even more like a sore thumb as the movie progresses on to better things. Victor and Adam's escalating conflict is the film's highlight, blending tragedy, horror, and philosophical depth in a way that feels authentic to Mary Shelley's source material, while infused with Del Toro's signature empathy for the monstrous. It is by and far the best part of the movie, The conflicting feelings Victor had about Adam are shown with a great deal of nuance and finality that modern movies tend to miss. Adam's acceptance by the blind old man is also a great arc, and mirrors how he was treated by Victor, which is self-mirrored how Victor was treated by his own father, the latter being a parallel that we didn't really need. It's a well-presented portrayal of several archetypes. Those who don't judge the book by its cover, or that of a monster who's shiven away by people who don't really understand him, and the monster is not really that monstrous, and so on. This whole village arc, it's loaded with these kind of great archetypes, even if it's a little strange that Adam could be so stealthy for so long. Adam's return to Victor, which eventually culminates in Elizabeth's death, was a perfect, heart-wrenching payoff that captured the story's theme of isolation, revenge, and unintended consequences. This interpersonal drama should have dominated more of the runtime instead of the build-up to Adam's creation. As a matter of fact, even Victor's desperate attempts to flee Adam should have been more of a runtime. This is a movie that's 2.5 hours long. It's split up as about 10 minutes for the cold open, an hour and 15 minutes for the build-up to when Adam is finally created, another hour for Adam's creation, Victor's abuse, Adam's escape, Adam's education, the confrontation between Victor and Adam, Elizabeth's death, and Victor's failed attempt to kill Adam with dynamite. They packed way too much in the second half of the film, when they could have moved the cold open to the climax, cut out most of Victor's flashback, and then used that massive runtime for the conflicts between Victor and Adam. The movie's cast is star-studded with fantastic actors. Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, Lars Mikkelsen, and Christoph Waltz are all in top form here. The visuals and set pieces are also amazing. It's a reminder that modern filmmakers absolutely can craft films with real dedication and respect for the audience. It just needed a more streamlined script and stronger focus on the main conflict. All in all, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is a good movie that could have been great if it was paced better. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 on the Sam Marillion scale. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video, dislike if you didn't. Hope you make $1 million on copy.
Goodbye.